Well, hello everybody. This is Brad in Stockbridge, Georgia, and I wanted to catch you up on what I've been doing in my gardening this winter. This is the Aquaponics unit. Everything was dying, so I added some T5 grow lights to the units. This was some black-seeded Simpson lettuce that was just languishing, and now you can see it's starting to come back, and I've filled in, I've reseeded the areas that were thin. These are the little 2-foot T5s that I got at Home Depot. I just put them on some EMT conduit that I had bent and put in place. This is the second bed. I've got head lettuce and some spinach growing. Also starting to turn green again and liven up with the addition of the grow light. The grow lights are plugged into a GFI receptacle, so you don't have to worry about them being in the water beds. This is the little timer. It's actually an indoor timer, but I secured it to a drain pipe so it's out of the weather. The fish had an inch of ice on them last weekend with the cold weather. Now the ice is thawed. It's 55 to 60 today, and the fish are doing really well. I collected all of the leaves and grass clippings from my neighborhood and ran back and forth over them with the mower and blew them up against my retaining wall. I'll screen this and use it in my self-watering buckets and other beds as compost. I've never grown snow peas. I planted these. The last two buckets are starting to have a little yellowing on the leaves from the cold we had last weekend. I'm trying to train these vines, snow pea vines, to come on up and get a hold of the tomato trellis that I have out there in the backyard as well. They're starting to grow and move upward. Out in the woods, these are the little 4x4 beds that my neighborhood association had a fit about. I've moved them back in the woods. They get sun back there. And I had neglected these buckets. I've got some spinach and turnip greens going there. The buckets had gone dry and the plants were about dying, and I've got them opened up because it's 55 and we've got rain moving in, so the turnip greens and collards are starting to perk up and look really good. This is I believe it's a collard plant. It looks a little bit like cabbage, but I think it's a collard, and it is doing really well. That's going to be supper next week. I did have some of the Swiss chard that's made it through the winter. It's the neon Swiss chard, and it's looking beautiful. And of course the ubiquitous broccoli, set broccoli heads. This was my project today. I went out and replanted some self-watering buckets as well as other buckets with anything that I had around the house that said to sow as soon as the ground could be worked. Got some turnip greens in the other bed, and again, just the self-watering buckets, getting them going. So this is what I've got going on here in Atlanta, Georgia, waiting for spring.